In order to create setup file, first you need to install a installer. So click on extension and click on manage extension, and in the search bar type installer, installer, and install this Microsoft Visual Studio installer and click on download. After this, close the Visual Studio. Now click on modify. Now the installation of installer is successful. Now let's create the setup file. If your project has a SQL Server database, then let's connect the SQL Server database with this project. So click on the Solution Explorer and double click on app.config file, and in the configuration tag add this tag, that is connection string, and I have named my connection string as data connection. You can give any name according to your choice. I have given here my connection string name is data underscore connection. Now let's connect the SQL Server database. So click on click on Server Explorer and right click on data connection and click on add connection and click on server name. Now select the server and authentication, SQL Server authentication, or you can choose Windows authentication if you are using SQL Server Express. Provide the username and the password and select the database. My database is hospital, and click on test connection. It is successful. Then click on OK. Then right click on the connection string, then click on properties and copy this connection string, that is Control A, Control C, then paste it over this connection string in the double quote, and we have to change only this password with the password of the SQL Server, that is admin@123. I am writing this connection string in the app.config file because if we write this connection string here, then we don't need to write this connection string again and again in every Windows form and every button click or any event. So that if we write here, we don't need to write this connection string again and again. We simply copy this name and connect the SQL Server database with this project. After this, let's do some setting. So click on Solution Explorer and right click on the reference, then click on add reference, and in the search bar type configuration and select this system.configuration and click on OK. After this, let's go to my project and let's try to connect the SQL Server database with my project. So double click on save button, and in the namespaces add some namespaces, that is using system.data.sql client or SQL client. After this, add using system.configuration. The first one is for connecting SQL Server database and another is also used for connecting SQL Server database. And in the save button, double click on it and paste this code here. And this code is for inserting data into a table. And we have to change one name, that is the connection string. We have to simply double click on it and we have to copy this connection string and simply paste over here, so that we don't need to type the connection string again and again. Simply we will use this name and we will connect the SQL Server database with this project. I have already connected the SQL Server database with my project. Now click on the Solution Explorer and right click on the Solution then click on add, then click on new project, then in the search bar type setup and hit enter and select setup project and click on next. Then you can rename the project name or setup name. I will keep the name as this, and it will be saved on the desktop, and click on create. After this, click on application folder and right click, then click on add, then click on primary output, then select primary output, then click on OK. Then right click on primary output, then click on create shortcut, then rename the shortcut as hospital software, or the name you want to give onto this software, and click on the hospital software and type F4 and select icon and select the drop down and click on browse, then click on browse, then click on application folder, then click on add file, then select the destination where your icon is present. I have already created an icon and my icon is on the desktop, so select the icon, then click on open, then click on OK, then click on OK, then click on the hospital software and right click on it and select cut and click on the user desktop, right click on it, then click on paste. This will create an icon on the desktop. Now click on the application folder again, then select the primary output, then right click, then click on create shortcut, then rename the shortcut as hospital software and select the hospital software, then type F4, then in the icon select the drop down and select browse, then click on browse, then click on application folder, then select the icon, then click OK, then click OK, then right click on the hospital software, then select cut, then click on the program menu, then right click, then select paste. This will add an icon on the program menu. After this, click on the solution explorer again, then right click on the setup one, then click on build. This will create the setup file. If you are using Crystal Report, then you have to install the appropriate version of Crystal Report runtime. So you have to install the appropriate version of Crystal Report runtime on the client PC. Icon can be created online, or there are software which can create icon. You can download it and create icon. The setup file is on the desktop, so open it, and on the debug folder the setup file is created here.